Hey, what is going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario. Happy to still be doing this here in 2026 and beyond, hopefully, but here we're back over at our good old friend, the Xbox 360, and we're going to be messing around with controllers a little bit more. Now, I've covered this a few times here with UsbdSecPatch. Now, if you do not know, UsbdSecPatch allows you to essentially take a wireless controller, like a third-party controller such as a DualShock 4 or even a DualSense controller, and when pairing it up with an adapter, you can use that on your system. The nice thing is, as long as you have a way of running homebrew on your console, you have a way of running this, whether you're using bad update, bad avatar, JTAG, RGH, or really any of that stuff, as long as you have a way of running homebrew. However, there was another development that has been a little bit quieter than UsbdSecPatch, and this is in the form of HidDriver360, which it states here is an experimental on-console HID driver focusing on providing third-party controller support to the Xbox 360 without USB patches or dongles. It does support 15599 retail dashboard as well as 17489 dev kit dashboards, and the nice benefits here is that you're just able to connect your controller via USB directly to the system and it should work. You can also use up to 4 concurrent controllers in combination with Xbox 360 controllers or without them, and some of the supported controllers here it shows are the DualShock 4, the DualSense, and the DualSense Edge. Now the only downside to this is that UsbdSecPatch is a little bit more generalized, but with HidDriver360 it seems that the support for specific controllers has to be coded in here. So if you have a controller specifically that you would like added, you'd probably have to reach out to the developer here, eintim23, in order to get it added in. Now I do want to clarify this as well. If you've already set up UsbdSecPatch on your system, or you already have the integration in place thanks to something like XE Unshackle over bad update and bad avatar, you do not have to pick one or the other. If you're using this as a plugin or even as a patch itself to the NAND, you can have the both of them on your system. The big difference, however, with HidDriver360 is, like I said, you need to connect your controller directly via USB. So if you're going to be using something such as I'm going to be using a DualSense controller here, you do need to take a physical USB cable and connect it directly to your console. So you must use your controllers in a wired capacity. However, if that's not much of an issue to you, well, let's go ahead and get started. So for this, it's pretty simple to set up and pretty quick. You just need your Xbox 360 up and running and working, and it must be modified to run unsigned code and homebrew. That means you need to have bad update or bad avatar set up, or if you already have a hard modded system, you're going to need a JTAG or an RGH or an equivalent of some kind. And referencing this here yet again, if you're using a modified retail kernel, you must be on dashboard 17559. If you need assistance either updating the kernel on your system, getting RGH running, or even getting bad avatar or bad update running on your unmodified system, I do have videos covering all of that, and I'm going to link them down below in the description. So aside from your modified Xbox 360, you also need a USB drive to download and transfer the XEX file, and that's about it. With all that being said, since this is my bad update or bad avatar system, I'm going to go ahead, turn it off, unplug the USB drive, and take it over to my computer. I'm going to have the GitHub repository for HidDriver360 linked down below in the description of this video. You can go ahead and read the README here just to get familiarized with it, and once you're familiar with it, click on the releases section. From here, you just need to download the latest HidDriver.xex and save it somewhere you can easily find it. From here, take a USB drive, make sure it's plugged in, make sure it works on your Xbox 360, and then just take your HidDriver.xex file and copy and paste it to the root of the USB drive. And that's it. Now I'm going to show you 2 install methods here. This first one is going to be for bad update or bad avatar systems, and the next one is going to be for hard modded systems such as RGH or JTAG. Now if you have a system running bad update or bad avatar, you're going to have to modify your launch.ini file. And in order to do this here, first make sure if you're using Windows, click on View, go to Show, and make sure file name extensions has been enabled. Next, you're going to want to find the HidDriver.xex file and click on it one time like that, so that way it is editable. Now highlight the entire name, right click, and copy that. Now once that's been copied out, go ahead and double click the launch.ini file to open it. It's going to look like this, and all you need to do is scroll down to the plugins section right here and find one of these sections which does not have a plugin in place. Then all you need to do is type it in like this. Type in USB:/ and then you can right click and you can paste in the HidDriver.xex. Now go to File, and click on Save. Keep in mind it needs to be exactly like this. The casing, the colon, and this exact type of slash. It needs to look exactly like this here. To double check your work, you can go ahead and close out of here, and after it's been saved, go ahead, open up launch.ini yet again, scroll down, and make sure it's saved successfully. As long as it's been saved, you're good to go and it's already been set up. Now you need to exit out here, right click, eject your USB drive, and now take it over to your system. You should be all ready to go at this point. Now if you're doing this here on an RGH, you have a bit more flexibility, and I'll show you how to load up the plugin internally here. First, go ahead, take your USB drive and plug it into the system. Then if you're using something such as Aurora, go ahead and open up your file manager. Within the file manager, go over to the USB drive, find your HidDriver360, highlight it, tap the X button, navigate over to the left, and tap A on copy. Now we can tap the right bumper for system, and if you're using an internal hard drive, go to HDD1. And what I like to do is I personally like to have a plugins directory. If you don't have one of these directories, you can just come over here to the left, create a new directory, and call it plugins. But I already have one here, so I'm going to navigate into the plugins directory, navigate over to the left, and then paste this in. Say yes, and we should be good. At that point, we can close out of here, and now navigate over to Dash Launch. Once you have a Dash Launch open, you can go down to the plugins section, open it up, and you need to look for a section which has a blank plugin. For example, I don't have any plugins in 3, 4, or 5. So I'm going to pick one of my empty slots, tap the A button. Now go over to HDD, go over to your plugins directory, find HidDriver360, and tap the A button. Now hit the right bumper, go down to HDD, and tap the X button to save your launch.ini file. Now you can go ahead, hit the right bumper yet again, and go down to quit and press A. Now once you're back over at your custom dashboard, you can go ahead and unplug your USB drive since we're not going to need that again. But now in order to actually load in the plugin, we have to restart the system. So go ahead, bring up your guide here, turn off the system, and turn it back on. Now I've already gotten this working on my RGH successfully, but since I've set this up on my bad update system, I'm just going to go ahead and boot into bad update or bad avatar. It's still bad update at the root of it here, and wait for it to load in. So now once Aurora or your equivalent dashboard loads in, all you need to do is take your controller. Like I said, I'm going to be using a DualSense controller and then hook it up to the console. I just used a USB-A to USB-C cable, and now you can navigate around and check it out. Your controller should be working. Like I said, at the time of recording this, this really only supports 3 controllers, so the PS4 controller, the PS5 controller, and the DualSense Edge, which is still also a PS5 controller, but we can also get in a game and make sure this is up and running. You know, I was trying to fire up Gears of War. I was going to do that because I did that with the UsbdSecPatch video, but you know what? Different modification, different plugin. Let's try something else. But you can see right here, I'm in-game on Metro 2033, which this game is shocking, impressively shocking how well it works on the Xbox 360. But you could see here that I am in game, it is up and running and working. And one nice benefit as well here, I know I'm answering this at the end of the video, but a lot of people have had issues with UsbdSecPatch, not with it not working, but just experiencing a bit of input delay. I don't have exact numbers for it, nor do I have for this one here, but a lot of people have said that they felt some input delay when using a wireless controller with a dongle. I am happy to report though that I really don't feel any delay using HidDriver360. So if you're one of those people where understandably so, you might just be getting bugged by that input delay, you might want to downgrade it to a wired setup here, like what I'm doing, and then end up using HidDriver360 and just see how well it works for you. Because I can certainly say this is more than playable, and it's been working pretty well so far. Either way, that is about it for this video here. Hopefully it helped out. Hopefully you all were able to get HidDriver360 up and running. Like I said, it's just a really simple plugin you download, you set up, you install, and that's really all you have to do to get it running. But that's about it for this video. This is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated, and if you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too.